Okay. Load the screen. Where is it? All right, we got the React section up. Just need to pull up the video. All right, there's two main videos that I want to watch, but there's one that I want to, like, I watched a few minutes of it and I was like, we need to react to this live. So we'll bring that back a little bit. So that's set. All right, it's on full screen capture. There it is. All right, cool. I just closed my window. I feel dumb. Okay. Try this again. I just closed my browser. Uh okay. Hide. What's up, Nito? Let's see. Leveling 35 to 60 nonstop stream till 60 starts now. You still farming TK? TK. I'm at a loss. I try to think of what TK could be. What is TK, brother? Like I really tried to ponder it for a hot minute there. Tempest Keep. Sorta, kinda. The area, it's right there, brother. Okay, I was like, no, I'm actually at the Botanica. So right now, I am actually following a guide that lists basically what the best items are to farm at like level 24, 25, so you can get item level 107 and below gear. And I'm farming like the bis, the stuff that's like of course Sunwell is like what you want to like, that would be the best, right? But this stuff is for most people like Sunwell and I think Olduar as well. But point is, there's a few pieces of gear like this one I got right here, and Mechanar is like the best chest piece you can get for level 24. So I'm trying to like farm Bis solo the best I can while I'm waiting for groups to queue. So my goal is to like, this character's level locked right now, is to just farm things as much as possible to try to get the best gear. Plus, there's a couple videos we need to react to, and I haven't done any sort of live video reactions in a bit, so I'm overdue. Actually, I'm overdue. But how are you doing, man? Today, so I haven't been drinking now for a month. We'll say a month. I don't know the exact time frame. And today was one of those days where truly I debated. I was like, today is gonna be a drinking day. I feel like I'm gonna drink, and I didn't drink at all. And I've been basically good. I've been holding off on like any sort of temptation on like possibly drinking, trying to eat healthy, trying to intermittent fast. I need to mix working out into it. That's my problem. I'm gonna do some farming later, but I'm taking a week or so off. Wow. Okay, fair enough. I don't drink often, but I do drink a lot when I do. I think it's fair. Like I honestly don't have like, it's not for a thing. It's not really like because I need to stop drinking or because I don't enjoy it or I have a problem. I wanted to like quit cold turkey to give myself the best chance of like, hey, if we're gonna focus on losing weight, let's like cut that out too. Like today I had a soda. I had a Sprite, and I hadn't had a Sprite in quite some time, so it's definitely like an uplifting feeling, but to be honest, I kind of want to add more intense workouts to like my regimens so I can at least like have like a cocktail every once in a while. Like when you have a rough day, it's hard to have a rough day and then like as an adult and just be like, oh yeah, I don't need to have like a drink to relax. It's just, to me, it's just so much better. It just makes life so much smoother. I don't drink soda anymore. It's too sweet now. I honestly, I don't get the like the hang up that some people have with having like diet soda or like sugar-free soda. A lot of people are like, oh, well, it gives you cancer. Like, what doesn't, honestly? But also, like, it's not that big a deal. Flavor-wise either. Like, I honestly think that the flavor is perfectly fine. Wait, I thought I unqueued. Okay. Okay, so you gave me the same dungeon. That's funny. I wonder if that influences it. I wonder if you're in the dungeon, it influences what dungeon gets picked when you're queuing for it. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, we're running Druid because one, High Mountain Tauren gives you an earlier starting level. It gives you level 10 as opposed to level 8 when you start out. And then additionally, I was like, I could do Warrior, but I goofed up my other Warrior, like my OG Warrior. I goofed it up because it already got it to level, like, I got it to like level 27. And I was like, oh, this is already past the stage where I can get the proper gear. So I was like, crap. So I think the only way I can get gear for that guy is if I were to do Sunwell or something like that. So I was like, let's do something, let's try something new. Like, I don't normally play Druid. I don't like when certain, like, classes just have a ton of bloat and, like, a ton of stuff going on. But level 30 is, like, a perfect, to me, it's a perfect level to have your particular character because there's no bloat and it's all as basic as you'd want it to be. I have enough defensives. I have 2 defensives. I have I have a self heal with 2 charges. And then I have actually no, I have 3 defensives technically. I have 3 defensives. So to me, I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I would want. So I don't mind it. Like I normally don't like playing Druid, but I do like playing tanks. So it's a nice, like, it's a nice meeting in the middle, I've discovered. What the hell? I got pushed back, way back. I don't restart anymore. I don't need to self-medicate today. Self-medicating is important, but definitely sometimes you're like, man, I think it's like there's a fine line between like mental health self-medicating and then there's like also just like not, I guess, avoiding responsibility. My bad habit, and this is not to say like I'm better than anybody else. Like my bad habit is like when I experience stress, I self-medicate with food. Food is like my stress eating like thing. That's what I'll do. So like I that's my bad habit, you know? It's not, oh, it's not that I make sweet tea instead. I do 1/4 to 1/2 cup of sugar per gallon, so it's not really that sweet. I measure sweet tea with my heart. So, so it's probably not the best methodology, but I measure till like my southern family members like speak to me, you know? What's this? 14 stamina. Ooh, but I lose out on the haste. That's kind of unfortunate. Losing out on haste is big. That is not very big boom. We definitely want more big boom there. Gosh. I really want I really want to get people on the level 30 hype train for retail. I feel like this is like an untapped thing that I've only seen in very niche communities that I think needs to be a bigger thing. I think level 30 could be like a secretly cool hype behind retail. I really do. Like doing old content, and not necessarily it's hard or anything like that, but it's like it's back to where it's like you have to be semi-conscious of what you're doing. Like you can't just like face roll. Like, yes, if you're wearing time walking gear, yeah, if or if you're wearing like the leveling gear, it's probably just easy peasy and it's like not a big deal. But like at the same time, it's just a lot of fun. It's not that it's hard. It's enough to where you need to be like semi-conscious while you're playing. I feel like you don't need to be conscious sometimes when you're playing this game. Look at that, those 3 gem slots. 1/2 cup of sugar is about 2 cans of Coke. Oh, I've seen that where like they do like the measurements of how much sugar like a can of Coke has. It's sad, man. It's unfortunate. I've been sticking to 0 sugar stuff for a hot minute. Honestly, I prefer the taste now. So I definitely get not enjoying a lot of sugar. I've been really tempted. I need to find somebody who has a soda stream. I think I know somebody. Yeah, I think one of my like my friends who are from like the UK, I think they have a soda stream. And I think oddly enough, I think it might be goated. Like it might be the way to go. Because I think that you can dial like the syrup so it's not as intense. I kind of want to try it out, but I hope they have like 0 sugar syrups and stuff like that. But I want to see if it's better and if I can just cut out like name brand soda altogether. Because I heard it's not a cost save. Like it's not going to save you any money, but it is at the very least going to be like you have a little bit more control about what you're putting in your body. The same amount of sugar in 2 cans of Coke as I put in my tea. Yeah, that's probably the better move then. Tea is probably the better move for caffeine in general, I bet. Like if I had to guess. I can't imagine soda or like the caffeine intake. Like there's too many good caffeine options that aren't just like a 0 sugar option that you could also make at home or something like that. Because like black tea, I think has a decent amount of sugar or a decent amount of caffeine. I think that's why a lot of people consume like soda nowadays, to be honest. Like I know me for example, I stopped consuming like caffeine free sodas as much once I learned that like they don't have caffeine. I like to have like a little bit of something in my soda other than flavor. I don't know, maybe that's too bougie. Maybe that's probably like a bad health habit. Got some characters roughly in that range. I'll catch up to you. Yeah, that's what I hope too. Like please, like, you know, if you're some have to stop leveling at 23 because that's like the best level for certain classes. But for a lot of classes, it's honestly, ooh, what is that cloak? Mithril bark cloak? Nah. Honestly, for a lot of people, stopping at 23, 24, and then you can just run all like the Burning Crusade content is like fine. But that's the thing, like you definitely want to stop beforehand because your item levels get too high. But it's definitely a lot of fun to do it that way. So lower than coffee or Coke, but it's enough. Yeah, honestly, like I don't need a ton. Like honestly, like for example, my vice right now with energy is ooh, Ace of Storms, interesting. Nice staff too. Is this staff better than my staff? It might be. 9 agi. So 9 agi. Oh wait, no, I can just do this, right? Oh, I lose way too much. I only gain 2 stamina. Dang. This is a pretty good staff, huh? From Zulfaric? That's crazy, actually. I'll teleport out. That's why, like, instead of like doing coffee lattes, I switched to like a chai because I like the flavor of a chai, and it's got great caffeine, a great amount of caffeine. Is it still worth doing these cards, like even for like low levels? I wonder. We're waiting on 1 DPS. If we can't get 1 DPS, that'd be surprising. Take your time doing time walking. Yeah, that's why like I stopped at level 23 and I just did like a few intro quests to Burning Crusade just to make sure I got just enough, you know what I mean? I definitely didn't want to go over. It is very easy to go over if you're not careful. All right, I need to open up my... So WoW has a good gearing guide, but Legacy 30, they also make a pretty decent guide as well. I'm gonna do these just for fun as well. All right, tank gearing guide, and then Guardian Druid. Where are we at? Shadow Labyrinth? Oh, I don't know what I need from here. Is it over here that we need to go? Or is that just an opening in the back? It looks like a quest over here, but I think it's... Is it blocked off? Oh, no, it's right back here. Okay. Yeah, it's blocked off. Okay, you can't go in there yet, I suppose. Yeah, I had to stop pretty early and then just carefully do questing because it is very easy, especially with like how big the chunks of you get from doing time walking. But it's not too bad. It's just like I do think it's sometimes it's unfortunate is like not necessarily that you can level through dungeons, like solely through dungeons, and it doesn't take too much effort, but that you don't really get to finish certain areas. I wish they would make like a highlighted version of questing in certain areas, so at least you get to still experience it. So I feel like you kind of miss out on, like, say you want to just like experience a certain expansion, you kind of just miss out on it. That's kind of a bummer. It's been a while since I've done this this dungeon, like in general, like it really is. Been a minute. Got feared. Feared. Okay. Let's go here. That deck is eye level 31. It gives stacking 3 crit until you crit. Item levels are so weird too, because like depending on when you get certain items, like it could be a higher or lower item level. For example, like there's a cloak you can get in Zangarmarsh, or a headpiece in Zangarmarsh that's actually pretty decent. But you want to complete it at level 24 as opposed to level 25, or 25 instead of 24, because when you complete it at 25, it gives a better eye level. So it's like it's hard to know what applies and where, you know? Oh, look at those. Those wrist guards don't look half bad. I also miss getting excited about gear. Like doing these old dungeons gets me excited about gear because like certain things need to drop. And having like loot lists and stuff like that is like huge. It may not be huge to everybody, but it's huge to me. It allowed DPS to stack different stats back in TBC, which allowed some variety of play. Gotta love that. I just remember the decks being like in a almost an essential part of the game. It was really cool. I don't think it's a thing anymore. Or if it is, it's like it's only a thing for like a certain patch. Maybe when they can't find like a good trinket to run. What's this say? Soul device? Oh. Do I need to do something over here? Okay, I figured. Of course someone pulled it too. Just use your words, man. Man, people are all over the place. Focus on the boss, brother. Interesting. Well, I gotta complete my quest. Positives. That was weird. Is everyone pulled like a separate group? It was really dumb. Probably wondering why I'm not leveling up. Yeah, maybe. I'm actually in the Legacy 30 guild, so if anyone knows about it, it's I guess it's quite well known. In some circles, I guess. It's funny, we actually didn't fail the fight. That's funny. Like they're like, why isn't this guy doing better? I've actually had groups though. They've kicked me because they get mad because I'm not using defensives, and I'm like, bro, I don't like what? I'm using all the defensives I have. What do you mean? Like what defensives am I supposed to be using right now? What are the soul devices? Is this guy stealing one of them? Is he taking every single one and that's why? I don't see anything. Says there's more later on, so perhaps. Yeah, I guess like ultimately I do wish like certain things stayed relevant and even in the modern game because like it was just so cool back then. It's not even about like it's better than what it is in a modern game. It's that it was so cool. I would hate someone not to experience it because they just didn't play it at the right time or something like that. Like that to me is like sad. Flowers, I guess. All right, cool. I think attunements were a good thing. I agree. I think it's always a good thing to have something, not necessarily like a barrier to entry, But something that kind of makes you feel like even just stepping a foot in the door is like something you earn. And a lot of people would, I think, argue and be like, oh, it's just something you use to gatekeep. But I disagree. I disagree with that sentiment. I don't think that's the case. I think it's something that it had people work together, had people like you had to figure things out. There was items you had to get, and I think there was a lot to it that made it interesting and fun. I disagree with the sentiment that it's like it's just designed for. Wow, what a jackass! You're super unfun to play with. I want you to know that, other druid. Okay. People go feral when it comes to like limited items in dungeons. You know, like items that not everyone can like get in one dungeon run. They go fucking bonkers. I think there's more here though. That's the funny part. All right. You're always progressing. It was great. If the goal is to see progress, yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people saw that stuff as a burden later on and just like, oh, we'll go away with it. I definitely get like removing those sort of barriers after the content is no longer like current. But I do miss like being into a new tier and people would do the older tiers in order to prepare for the new tiers. So like older content stayed relevant even into later on because it was like, oh, it's still worth doing because you still get gear that can get you into the new content. But nowadays you do the next, like the new set of Mythic Plus, or you skip over the raiding content entirely and just jump into the content immediately. So I do think that's a miss. It's one of those things that I think just kind of ignores like the value in doing things sooner, I suppose. Wonder if we could teleport out and back in. You still have to do attunements now. They just aren't called that. Really, the only thing that I guess I'm familiar with is let's see what this is. 106, but definitely cannot use that. You can't use any items from otherworldly satchel, unfortunately. Interesting, like a lot of stamina there for sure. Add to ban list. Spirit shard, is that important? Do we need these? Read on if you dare. Continue reading. Continue reading. Continue reading. Going. I didn't join the group because I want to see if those the bracers are worth it. There's boots and there's bracers, and both look decent. Spy Masters and then Spy Mistress. Both of them have a socket. Let's see. The ones I was looking at I didn't have any bracers. Ooh, Shifting Sands has 2 sockets, and it's Botanica. That's where we just were. That's gonna be better. But I mean, hey, this is something else. That's not bad. I do miss how BC Gear had so much sockets in general. That was always cool. It's gonna kick me out yet? I feel like it's gonna kick me out in a second here. I can't get into Argus on my main because I never played Legion. I can't get into Nyaloth because I didn't play BFA. I've never really tried, so I don't really know. That's sucky though. I like it when they remove restrictions from being able to do those things. Because I think it's silly to like leave those restrictions on, you know? That's what I call a modern attunement. I don't know, I kind of like the old way better. Okay. So, piece number 1. And then piece number 2. Let's see. Oh, I guess that's just raw agi, I guess. I don't know. How is this not better? Because Shifting Sands is agi, stam, and crit. This is agi, stam, and dodge. So I guess it's not just like because that third stat. And then agi, stam, and crit. Yep, and then agi, stam, haste, and verse. That's actually insane. Because like the priority goes agi, haste, verse. So I feel like this one is better overall. But then again, with this one, I could equip it with 4 agi, so it's 9. So what's better of the two, I guess? And then let's put agi in this one. And then socket bonuses are cool too. Oh, geez, I forgot where I was too. Like, where am I again? I totally forgot what dungeon I just did. Was it one that was here? I don't know. Let's see. I need Ashanai Crypts. Yep. I need Escape from Durnholt. Oh, that was Shadow Labyrinth just now, wasn't it? I feel like it was. Mechanar. Oh no, I don't need Mechanar because I just got the chest. I don't need that anymore. Underbog, okay. Blood Furnace, okay. Botanica, yep. I did Nomergon already. I did Unguro. Yep, that's all I need. Just those. Was Terracar Forest? That was weird. I didn't queue for that, so that was kind of strange. Maybe it's because I queued with other people and it changes the queue once you like redo it. I guess it's the downside of re-queuing with other people. Though I guess it wasn't terrible. I mean, I got some interesting pieces of gear out of it. I don't think it's like BIS by any means, but it's still worth. It still seems pretty good. Very, very interesting. Botanica. I suppose Murmur. Shadow Labyrinth is down there. Yeah, a lot. It's been a while since I've done a lot of these. Cause that's all right here, right? Yeah, it's all right here. Mana Tombs, Ashanai Crypts, Shadow Labyrinth, Sethicals. Calls. I think it's because I only do Sethicals, Calls, obviously, for the amount, but it's like it's all I want to think about. 'Tis the only one that crosses the mind. All right, let's sell some stuff that I can't use. Agi-Stam Haste, Agi-Stam Dodge, and Crits. It's weird when greens are better. Is 8 verse really that important? Okay, maybe it is. I don't know. I won't get rid of those just yet. I see this is really good. Agi, Haste, and Verse. But no sockets. You know what I mean? +3 to all resistances. What an interesting cloak. I don't want to keep that just because of that. Sad we can't use the polar arm. Not that we can't use it, just it's not useful enough, I guess. All right. At that level, it probably adds a ton. You need bigger bags. Oh yeah, that's true. I grabbed like 14 slots and then like I didn't have any money on this character at the time. I didn't feel like just going into void storage and just like setting it up. So that's definitely on me. Fossil finder. Oh yeah, I don't need that. All right. Let's pause this. Buy all your bank slots before the patch. Oh yeah, that's true. When do I have to do that by? Wait, you have to pull stuff out of your bank? Why? I have some stuff legit on my older characters that have been removed from the game. Like they're not important pieces at all, but like they've legit been removed from the game and I just find it comical. Like this shunned piece of gear next Tuesday. Okay, noted. So buy bank slots, do I have to remove stuff, or is it just like if I have it in void storage, do I need to take it out of there? Because I was mostly just keeping like reagents that I wanted to hold on to for like later. Check out the guild bank heist. Oh no. Everything you want to keep out. Okay. What's the guild bank heist? The Great Wild Guild Bank heist. Blizzard steal everything from play accounts. So that's like 64 views. I don't feel like this is the one.
Hey there folks, my name is Kern. Welcome back to my channel. Today, unfortunately, I want to talk about something that I am personally calling the Great Blizzard Bank Heist. For those of you who don't know, there has been a bunch of reports about guild banks missing items, gold, etc. And this coincided with the pre-patch. So it's been ongoing for a while now. And basically, the WoW community has just learned this past Friday, September 20th, that some restoration may be possible, but for the most part, you know, so sad, too bad, is like their official stance. They said that what was able to be restored would be mailed to the bank leader, the guild bank leader, or the guild leader of the guild bank, I should say. And, yeah. So, I didn't originally think that I was affected, but I knew that a lot of people were. But I do want to talk a bit about...
This one's got about 9K views, but it's about from 10 months ago. I feel like I don't have the right one. Is it recent? Like this is like a recent thing? This month. Okay, maybe not. Oh, so it did happen a while back ago. It's when the War Within came out. Okay. Let's sort by view count. Wow, this person made a bunch of videos on it. A bunch.
Learned this past Friday, September 20th, that some restoration may be possible.
I don't know if that matters.
But for the most part...
Okay. So what's going down with void storage, from my understanding, is that people are going to need to open up their bank slots. For characters that don't have their full slots, they're going to have to get more slots. And for people who are worried about losing their things, they're saying about pulling out everything from your banks. But this started not just with the recent update of the changes to the void storage, but with a scandal that happened long ago with earlier in the War Within time frame. So let's take a look at what exactly went down.
You know, so sad, too bad, is like their official stance. They said that what was able to be restored would be mailed to the bank leader, the guild bank leader, or the guild leader of the guild bank, I should say. And yeah, so I didn't originally think that I was affected, but I knew that a lot of people were. But I do want to talk a bit about how I used my guild bank, and then I'll talk a bit about what I've lost, because I've lost a number of things. So first, I do want to talk a bit about how I use my guild bank. This is my bank tune, and this guild has been around since December 6th, 2007, shortly after the launch of Burning Crusade. It's literally my guild, my bank tune, that's it. I'm the only person in it, so no one stole anything from me.
By the way, this is not like to make like any like stark connections early on in the video, but I honestly believe that this is the same argument that people are arguing with this whole like digital game scandal, like with the whole thing with Nintendo and how basically you don't own any of your games and how you have to pay extra for games, and you're not like, you actually don't own the game. It's just a license to be able to play the game. And it's, I think that's what the whole stop killing games movement is about too. So like this, even though it's like, it can sound silly, at the same time, I think there's a lot of people who go like, no, this applies in more facets than one. This is just how it applies to WoW.
Except for Blizzard. Until the the Warband Bank came along, I put basically everything into my guild bank. Because like I just had way too much stuff. I've been playing this game since October of 2005. So that is almost 19 years. And I have collected a lot of stuff in 19 years.
And honestly, I think this is the perfect example. Like, we have transmog is a perfect example, perfect reason of why we need better archiving of old things in the game. Not just for nostalgia purposes, but for the fact that there is so much stuff in the game. And I feel like trying to cycle that stuff out and like not really doing anything about it is just Blizzard admitting to the fact that they want to get rid of some of that bloat, and they want to get rid of some of that old content. It's like, this content we paid for, paid for, and it exists for a reason, you know? It's pretty wild. The things that people lost and cared about most was letters and stuff like that from old guildies and the like. Yeah, especially
And
stuff that has sentimental value.
Let me talk to you, little Canny here. My actual bank is kind of empty, doesn't have too much stuff. There is literally nothing in my reagent bank because it's a bank tune. And then I've got stuff in my Warband bank, and I only have the one tab. But for the most part, that's because all of my stuff was in my guild bank. From what I can tell, this tab was mostly untouched. This tab is missing a bunch of old Dark Moon card stuff, is missing old inks, possibly. I did go through my guild bank before The War Within came out, and I did sell a lot of stuff. I didn't sell everything.
That's the sad part too, is like it's hard to remember what you lost to. So even if you had like a full restoration, you wouldn't even know that you had a full restoration unless it was something significant, because sometimes you do hold on to stuff. Yeah, it may not have a purpose every single time, but at the same time, it's like, who is the game to tell you like you can't have the stuff that you want? So it's like, it's weird. It's like a policing of your own inventories and what you're holding on to. So it's like, it's weird to be like, you can't just have those anymore. So I find it to be extremely strange that that there isn't a better policy on making sure those things aren't lost. Because like, what's the harm of it staying? Like, if these things are being lost, what's the harm of things like just being, I don't know, just restored back?
And as such, unfortunately, my memory is a little off, but like, I know I had more than this stuff in this tab. This is possibly the most devastating thing. This was my leatherworking tab. I had easily this many leatherworking materials, and that includes dragon scales. You see, my main, Kern, is a leatherworker and was a dragon scale leatherworker back in the day. And as such, also being a skinner, I had a ton of blue.
This is of course like your tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, but I honestly think these type of things come about because they don't want people hoarding onto stuff that might be useful in the future, like in an attempt to like try to make so that like the economies have to reset each expansion to where it's like, hey, we're adding housing, you can use a lot of old stuff in the game, and then making it to where like all that stuff that you possibly needed just is gone. You know, that's what's lost in there. So let's make these reagent tabs, but those are the first thing that, you know, oh, oops. Oopsies.
Red, black, green, and worn dragon scales from Classic, from Vanilla, which you can't get anymore. You just don't get those things anymore. And all of those scales are still required for the black dragon scale set, the blue dragon scale set, the green dragon scale set, the red dragon scale breastplate, and other stuff. And as a leatherworker, I put it in my bank for safekeeping, thinking, oh, whenever I need to make another one of these things, I just need to go to my bank, pull out.
Isn't it funny how like art imitates life in this case? This is essentially like any bank crisis that you've heard of in like in the past 2 or 3 decades. Is exactly what's happening. You store stuff in the bank with the intention of it being kept safe, and what happens to whatever you invest? Well, they spend it, or they use it somewhere else, and so they no longer have your money, and your money is just gone. so they get bailed out in order to save the bank, and you're just like, wait, where's my stuff?
That rugged hide, pull out the required scales, the rugged leather, and I can just craft one. It is completely empty. I did not sell all of my scales because I know that they're not replaceable.
And this might seem small to a lot of people. I think if you only play retail, you might look at this and go, oh, you know, that's a lot of stuff. You know, that's probably like that's probably a lot of value in auction house gold. It's not that. It really is not just that. It's the amount of time that it takes, and especially if you got it at the time where it was popular, like getting those things are near impossible. People still knew how to farm stuff, and so like it was sometimes you had to spend days working on this stuff because spawn rates weren't like they are now. There wasn't the routes that existed. There weren't like the min-max meta routes that are established now. So like getting that stuff is just, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. Surprised a lot of big channels that didn't cover this. I think they're starting to cover this with
had hundreds of scales. As upsetting as that is,
with the most recent void storage updates.
Mining, I don't even know what was in here. Probably some old ore and jewel crafting stuff. I don't even remember. I kind of don't even care, because this is the thing that's killing me the most. Old patterns. This bank tab was filled with old patterns. I don't even remember all of the old patterns. I know that there was life stealing. I know that there was greater fire protection. I know that there were
greater fire protection being huge for Classic.
Thorn mail or something like that. There was a lot of junk, but there was also a lot of good stuff. And like, I don't even know what was in there anymore. But it was patterns from everything. Like, what is it? The robe of the Archmage. That was in there. You know, like epic patterns.
Got some old triggers that aren't available and don't exist anymore. I pulled out from an axe dropped in vanilla.
I don't even know if you can get that anymore. I mean, South Shore doesn't exist, right? So
yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that. I think some of the biggest, like the hardest part about a lot of this is the content doesn't exist anymore because Kata did away with a lot of it. So it's like there's no way for you to retrieve it, for one, and then for two, there's no way that people keep stock of like the new and the old content, even on from like a GM's perspective, you know? So Gosh, that's gotta be really, that's really a tough pill to swallow. That's insane.
To do. Also empty are my alchemy, enchant, and engineering tabs. Again, I have no recollection of what was there. My logs for them are empty because like I haven't used them in so long. But like you can see, I had enchant, two-hand weapon, superior impact, heavy fell seal ring, bracers of havoc, Arcanite Reaper. I had Arcanite Reaper in here, which goes for 35,000 gold. It was deposited, was never withdrawn. It's just gone. And like I don't have any other, like I don't have any other record.
The sad thing is, like, I know we talk about like the things that Blizzard can and can't do, and it seems like whenever Blizzard does something, they can't undo it. And it's just like the big thing is like, well, you're a multi-million-dollar company owned now by billion-dollar company, so why not? So why is that not possible? And it's like an issue of if you can't, we don't believe you. It's most likely that you won't. But I feel like in this case, like so, like Arcanite Reaper being lost, I wonder if it's a can't versus a won't.
Of this. So I've obviously screenshotted this. Mining JC also wasn't really used, but like Rugged Hide, White Bandit Mask, Glyph of Evaporation, Mooncloth Bag, Silithid Carapace Fragments, gone. Also Protective Gloves, which I sold, or disenchanted. Here, Green Hills with Stranglethorn. I do still have my Chimerock Tenderloin, but again, more patterns. Wildvine Potion, Portable Bronze Mortar, lesser versatility, you know, 5 of Lunacy.
A good reference for people who don't like maybe understand Classic or anything like that. Think of it, a way to think about it like in real life is, say you had like a family heirloom and you kept all this time throughout the generations, and it has this great value. Of course, it has a great sentimental value to you. At some point, maybe you want to get it valued. Maybe you want to get looked at. And so say at some point you go to get it valued. Whenever you leave it off with the person who's supposed to like observe it and check it out, they replace it with just a regular rocking chair from like, or like a regular piece of furniture, a regular heirloom of like modern quality. It's like, yes, it does the same function, but I had that with the hopes of it had value, it had sentimental value, and it has like a personal keepsake. So think of it like a personal keepsake. Some people store this stuff with the pure reason of like, my goal for this is to somewhere down the line, I'll have this piece. Maybe it's not useful at all, but it'll be something that I remember. It's a lot of man hours. It truly is. It truly is. It's a lot of hours.
You know, there was stuff here. This is all within the last month, so I really don't know what would have been here. It's my MISC tab anyway, but it's really this that's got me down.
So we got the idea of what's happening here. I think there's a Zepla video that might kind of go over it. I haven't watched it yet, but let's do void storage, because I saw it and I think it does a little bit. It does a really good summarization of what's going on.
And void storage removed. What? No. Character. Okay, in Ghosts of Koresh, your character's bank is updated and now use the same.
Can you imagine the patch that's supposed to be the most void patch we've gotten of this expansion, and it literally does something so drastic as to harm your storage? I wonder if they'll play it off like a feature. You know, like this was the intention for you to lose everything important to you because the ethereals are now having you ally with Xalatath. Xalatath took him. That's gonna be the thing. Xalatath took him. It's sorry, gang. Old Zal just, you know, slipped away. She bamboozled us and she took your stuff. Our bad. Like, didn't mean for that to happen.
The warband bank. Character banks now comprise tabs with per tab settings available. Each tab includes 98 slots of storage. 6 tabs can be purchased. But what if I've already purchased all the tabs with gold? Then you're not going to make me purchase more tabs, right? Bank tabs are automatically unlocked.
Please.
At level 80, all tabs are unlocked automatically. For characters below level 80, the number of tabs available is based on how many bank bag slots were available to the character before the update. Oh, okay. That's fine. They just answered my question. But what about...
The thing is, it's kind of not okay, right? Because it's like, I get the concept, right? So bank slots will now be available based on level. And if you already had the bank slots, basically, you're grandfathered in. That's the way it feels, right? But on the same notion, it's creating a non-need for a thing that nobody was concerned about and creating concern. It's creating concern and player confusion in an area that didn't need to be confusing. What should have been done is, hey, we realize this whole thing of like bank slots is a dated concept. We want people just to have bank slots available and then they add the bags as they need so we can still have value with tailors. So we're just going to make it a level requirement. And if you have the bank slots, you have the bank slots already. You know, like, I don't think anyone cares or wants like refunds. Like, oh, I already bought these, so pay me back my gold. Like, gold is whatever. You could buy all the bank slots for all your characters and probably the bags too with like, with not a lot of gold, I guess is the point. So to me, they just created tension and it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all.
The void storage. No, don't get rid of void storage.
It'll be more space total, but them doing this is going to be a disaster probably. Oh, really? So what they're planning on doing is giving you full tabs like the warband bank. I see. So overall more space. And then an appearance of looking like the warband bank.
The reagent bank has been removed. Any bank tab can now serve as a reagents tab. Well, I guess then that doesn't matter. That's not a big deal. But the void storage matters. Because
I never liked reagent tabs and like reagent bags and stuff like that. To me, it's just silly. It only made sense whenever it's like when things didn't stack nearly as well and there was a lot more variety in items that you can get. Like whenever you're farming for multiple expansions, for sure, you know, like it's good to have like a reagent tab, reagent bank, but like honestly, if you're just farming within the single expansion, it's not that big of a deal. And I don't necessarily enjoy it because it's just like, oh, I get a few more slots, so that's why it's important. Or it's just to fill all the clutter that I may or may not use. And also I don't feel like selling because I would like to be semi self-sufficient, you know? That's the way it feels anyways. I think a lot of stuff is going to get lost in the shuffle, for sure. I feel like this isn't the first time this has happened too.
Items. I use void storage to put items that I don't want to delete but have a sentimental value to me and that I want to be separate from my general bank.
Yep.
That I use. Like stuff that I had got in freaking BC or Wrath of the Lich King. That's what that is for. Things that were like gifts that have meaning to me. Don't get rid of that.
I feel like they're not exclusively saying that. To give them like the benefit of the doubt, I feel like they're not exclusively saying that, but I think a lot of people are kind of like reading between the lines, right? And you can see very easily like, hey, this is problematic if you don't account for this. And this has happened enough times to where players are probably within the right mind of being like, hey, you're gonna fix this, right? You're gonna make sure this doesn't happen, right? But like I said, I like conspiracy theory mind of mine thinks that they kind of hope that does happen. You know, like, what if everyone loses a particular item, you know, that they just kind of want to get rid of from the game?
Was that... I guess Void Storage guy wants to go back to Koresh. He's done. He's quitting. He's quitting his job. All items previously contained in character banks, reagent banks, and void storage are automatically moved to available tabs. No! Please note that during times of great demand, it's possible for the conversion to not initiate when you first log into a character.
It just feels like basically that what that tells me, even as like a basic onlooker who's like just now like kind of deciphering what's going on, what I foresee is, what if there's overflow? What if there's overflow? What happens, right? Oh, it'll be mailed to you. Sure. Yeah, sure.
Until the conversion is completed, access to your bank will be disabled. Wait, what does this mean? Does this mean we're going to be locked out of the bank until you fix it? Probably.
Basically, you can't go on without doing it.
Why are you doing this? I mean, I understand, like, setting the character's bank to match the configuration of the warband bank, and that's okay. That's fine. Like, all this stuff that's just updating it is okay. My only issue is, frankly, with the void storage being removed. I think void storage has a unique...
They could even take it and go, hey, before you can open your bank, you got to transfer all your stuff to your inventory or to another character, and basically go, you can withdraw things, but you can't deposit until it's all resolved, either withdrawn, sent over, something along those lines. And then basically just go like, hey, once you do that, reload the game or whatever, and then you'll be able to do whatever you need to do. That to me seems like the easy solution.
Place in the game. It offers a different place to put your stuff that's totally separate, and I don't think it should be gotten rid of.
There's too much risk.
My void storage is full. Yeah, you do the same thing. So I'm not the only person who uses void storage this way. What do you use it for? I think maybe a lot of people don't even know that void storage exists.
I didn't use void storage until I started doing like old classic farming, because I was like, oh man, I need somewhere to store the stuff, because to be honest, I had a habit of single charactering and then just cycling stuff out, and then whenever my stuff got full, I just made a new character. That's probably a bad habit.
Maybe
I don't know.
They feel like people aren't using it, so there's no need to maintain it. I'm afraid, very afraid. When they added warbanks, oh yeah, things went missing from guilds. That's right. That was a huge drama.
And that was the video we just watched.
After they added the warband bank, the guilds lost all kinds of stuff, and then did they ever do anything about that?
Nope.
So remember when guild banks were emptied all of a sudden by a glitch? Yes.
I've heard some people got stuff restored, but not everybody's stuff was stored.
I foresee a similar issue. 100%. That is going okay, maybe not 100%, but like there's a 90% chance the same thing will probably happen. It's like this feels to me like one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think the problem is, I think there's a desire by the WoW team as of currently, if something is working, they need to like lean into it and keep on working in that direction. And I understand the methodology. It's like, okay, well, people are liking warbands, so let's like really lean into like warbands being the thing. But I think where the mistake is instead of kind of incorporating things, they kind of do a drop the previous and adopt the new. And this constant mentality of doing this has created a lot of resentment and fear by the player base that they can't trust and rely on Blizzard to complete something without there being problems. And so what ends up happening to the player base is they end up kind of taking the brunt of it. And Blizzard's response is like, okay, we're working on it at most. But a lot of times it gets quelled over time, and then we never hear about it again. And there's nothing really to hold WoW to a like Blizzard team to the standard to where it's like, hey, if you do this, there's some sort of repercussions. I don't want to say like I feel like I feel silly to be like oh, there should be like legal repercussions, but at a certain point, when you own like say like you have a digital thing, like an asset in game, and I don't know, it's just taken away like that. It does feel like it feels like a version of theft. Like I don't know, are we just borrowing Thunder Fury? Like if you have Thunder Fury, are you just borrowing it?
Situations. This feels like a if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why are we doing this? But it seems like a shit show waiting to happen. It sure does. Maybe the Void Storage guy will be the final boss in the raid.
Yeah, Void
Yes.
Storage final boss.
But he will win in the end by deleting your sentimental items.
Yeah, honestly, fantastic video by Zepla, honestly. And good to know the information about this. Honestly, I feel like if something doesn't change,
Reagent
if something
bank
doesn't drastically
Void.
change soon, I feel like a lot of people are going to suffer, and I feel like there's going to be upheaval. There's going to be a lot of people really upset by this, and I think people are over being told that like, hey, whoopsies. Because this has happened too many times. Imagine you had a private guild bank basically and had a bunch of old TCG mounts in there and they all got wiped. Yeah, I can't imagine. So Void Storage, make sure you buy your bank slots, folks, and make sure you withdraw your stuff. Don't give Blizzard the chance to mess this up. So remove that from the equation, I guess is the main thing. And yeah, hopefully you don't lose your stuff. If you lost stuff, let me know in the comments. Of course, give this video a like if you liked it. And of course, subscribe to the page while you're at it. We're nearing 2K subscribers. I'm super excited. So thank you guys for watching this one. But I'll see you in the next video. Peace. That's wild, though. That's wild, though. It's hard to know how to feel whenever like stuff gets like drastically cut like that. And it's just unfortunate. Like I wasn't one to hold on to stuff whenever I moved on to new expansions. And it's one of my biggest regrets. There's a lot of old gear that I had that I just kind of got rid of because I didn't really think of it as like needing to hold on to it. I really am bad with inventories and holding on to things. So like there wasn't any way for me to archive them. So I can't even like transmog a lot of the stuff I used to have. Just because I wasn't really great about keeping that stuff along. Also, like my account got hacked. I think this was back in, maybe it was in WAD. And so I lost a lot of stuff that way too. And so that kind of sucked. Agility, stam, haste, verse. That's funny. This actually has like a little better stats. Almost. It's one less verse, but it's 2 more haste. I think I'll take it. Try it out. All right. What do we need from this? What do we need from this guy? We need Boots of Shifting Sands. Boots of Shifting Sands. Here we go. Boots of Shifting Sands. Here we go. Ooh, I can use my trinket. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Here we go. This trinket's cool as hell. It does so much damage. But it's actually like, you get it from like Ungoro Crater. It's cool. Look at it chunk his health. Isn't that wild? Dang, nothing. He's supposed to drop it. He's not dropping it. Master had a bunch of old TCG mounts. I can't imagine. That would be awful. It's one thing if you do it to yourself. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's definitely different. But I have like a sympathy for it because nowadays, like when I look at that stuff, I get like it does have a sentimental value and it is important. And so it is kind of sad that it could happen because of Blizzard's hand. Like the one group of people who should be keeping that safe, you know, is them. And it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case here in a minute, you know. I'm definitely killing this one faster this time around. I definitely feel like I'm doing more damage to it. That 4-second stun though, that's not cool. All right. Five Agi, 8 Stam. How is this not better than this green? My current necklace has 1 less stamina, but has 4 crit and then 6 haste. It's kind of funny. You definitely get a lot of BOEs out of this too, which is nice. All right. Okay. Before we get started again, I do have another video that I was meaning to look at. Okay. Okay. Turn that on. Turn that on. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. Let's pause this. So for those of you who don't know, there was some recent controversies that's been happening in the Blizzard space, but not in the this patch is good, this patch is bad space, but in the teams getting cut space. This happens every quarter or so when Blizzard decides that something that's important to WoW players isn't important to their bottom line, and so they decide to cut it. And then when it gets cut, there's usually a big uproar that happens in response to it. So honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be this bad until I happened across this video, and I see it everywhere now. But let's look at Bellular's video about the WoW team that got cut and just how bad it is. Let's take a look. All right. Oh.
Blizzard may just have committed one of the largest mistakes they've made in years. And when I say that, I mean Blizzard, the corporate entity beholden to Microsoft, not the actual people in the Warcraft team. You see, what's happened here is cuts were made. A whole team was disbanded, and the impact of that has essentially been immediate. Take a look at this. At Mists of...
Can we really dissociate like Blizzard from can we really dissociate the World of Warcraft team from Blizzard? I feel like there's always this second and third layer effect of oh, well, it's not this fault. It's the greater Blizzard effect, the problem. At a certain point, it's I mean, there's another Bellular video, but it was on Wowhead as well. There was a dev that recently quit because of the patch scheduling. They listed in their tweet that the patch scheduling was the reason why they quit. And honestly, at a certain point, it's no, it's Blizzard itself. It's problematic, and it's not being held to a certain standard, and people are being overworked. And at a certain point, it's this is the WoW team. This is part of the WoW team. Your marketing team, your folks that are running relations with Microsoft and how they interact as well. That's all part of the certain point that you have WoW representatives in there. So it's can we really say it's not them? It's to say hey, it's not your WoW folks. No, there's still people there working there day in and day out who probably don't like this, sure, but they're part of it too. It's like malicious compliance. Maybe you could hope for the best, but for most people, it's they're complicit. They're complicit in this kind of stuff. I hate to be negative, but I think there's a grand deal of people who are complicit in stuff like this as well.
Pandaria Classic's launch, they posted claiming that the Timeless Isle calls. That's a little bit weird. You can't play the Timeless Isle until the last patch, right? And the replies go on to make it very clear that whoever's behind the account seems...
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Yeah. I mean, this is probably, if I had to guess, it's probably just somebody having to, they probably read off, okay, what features do we want to put in this ad? Or worst case scenario, they fed it through an AI and didn't think about at all, hey, let's double check this, right? And they just fed it through the AI, and that's what it spat out, maybe, possibly.
To think that Pandaria is referred to as the Timeless Isle. Now, obviously, that's a bit stupid. And if it were only that, this wouldn't be news. It would just be a mistake. No, this is actually a critical point in the story that I'm about to tell you. It's the story of how Blizzard, or definitely someone else, may have just jeopardized WoW's entire future by killing an entire team and replacing them with outsourcing. Here's something that's...
So, I get what I get that Belial is trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here in this case, but it means one of two things. Blizzard is giving their employees of their social media team one of the few foundational things that actually do hold value in the WoW space still, because there are some good videos that they put out there on like TikTok and some like decent posts that are put into the space, and they just give that person full autonomy. Whether it's like a team of people or it's one person, like I gotta imagine that they're just either giving that person full autonomy, or two, it's so automated only because there was this firing. But let's see what Belial says. I'm just kind of predicting and like looking forward.
America for the opening day
I'm speculating. Sorry.
And I'll be bringing my sponsor NordVPN with me. And the reason why is simple. It's because, well, I'll save heaps of money. So here's how. Airline, car rental, and loads of other things that you book when you're traveling.
I use Surfshark, but I think VPNs are
so
great.
All you can do is clear your browser cookies, fire up Nord, and change location.
Don't forget the cookies, guys.
Find lower prices. And if you go to nordvpn.com/BellularWarcraft, you'll get 4 months for free on a 2-year plan, and that's backed by their 30-day money-back guarantee. They've actually saved me much more than they cost, and that's like only with one use. But of course, there's more than that. You can browse the web as if you're anywhere using Nord. That means bypassing, region-locked content. And with Nord, you're actually getting more.
It is annoying that a lot of apps have caught on to VPNs and that they make it a big deal.
More threats. It's things like, malware, phishing,
like they get so like bent out of shape about using a VPN.
But the good news is it's extremely easy to use. You just use their desktop and mobile app. It's extremely simple. And best of all, you'll get 4 months for free with a 2-year plan at nordvpn.com/BellularWarcraft. A big thanks to them for years of their support. And let's go.
I need to get a VPN sponsoring me. That's what I need.
Blizzard. And this story starts with just one of those changes. On December 21st, 2022, Holly Longdale did something that spawned many news articles. She posted this roadmap. And with this, for the first time in WoW,
I'm a bit conflicted when it comes to appreciation for the roadmap. I think sometimes, yes, I think I can understand that having unpredictability in WoW's future is a reason why a lot of people end up leaving the game. I think seeing a roadmap can keep people on board a little bit longer. So I think it is a good retainability tool, like overall. Like I don't think it should be the only thing you use, but I do think having a roadmap is a good way of making sure that your players know what to expect in the future. Like, for example, having like the new expansion be like sneak previewed and give ideas is a great tool for players to go like, hey, I shouldn't leave now. If anything, I should prepare for the next expansion in case like the content I'm currently doing is not something that I enjoy, but I know I'm going to enjoy the next expansion's content. Speaking of which, if you want to catch some of that, I will be reacting on the midnight release. We will be doing a live stream with 3 other creators on the World of Warcraft Midnight Gamescom release. So you can catch us there with a few other creators. So catch us live. We might do a live bingo. So hop in the Discord so you can get bingo cards ready, or we can do something fun together on the event day just to kind of make it like a little bit fun as well. So we might, we're going to stay up late for the midnight release. My time zone, it's going to be like 2-3 a.m., but I'd love to have people aboard. So join us for that. Please, 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 please.
History, we basically knew the whole planned future. Now, we don't know where the idea came from, but we do actually know who made it. A member of their social team, Ratzel. And over the next few years, we got plenty of roadmaps, right?
Say
we
rat.
all saw what was coming, we were told when, and it helped us have faith in the game. Not always faith that would be good, but faith that, hey, there is a calendar, and it does seem that they're going to follow it. And it did at least show that the game was alive, things were going on. Now, Ratzel was all
I think something it doesn't do, though, unfortunately, is it doesn't really tell us, not necessarily if it's going to be good or bad, but it doesn't necessarily tell us if, maybe it is whether it's good or bad, but like, I guess, how do I put this? It doesn't necessarily tell us if what comes in that patch is going to be let down by a few things. One, is the staggered release going to make it unenjoyable because you do your so many weeks of it, but then they extend the lifespan of it so long that it's on life support for like the last 3 weeks that it exists? Or is it going to be something like Collector's Bounty, where it's successful the entire time and people up until the last moment are pushing through it, and after it ends they're like, hey, I want to keep on doing this kind of stuff? So it's like you don't know what kind of content you're going to get from Blizzard, even though that roadmap is showing you like it's how they release it, how well is it formulated in the end all be all. Is there going to be responses on the PTR that help to maybe amend some of the issues? Probably not, right? So like there's a lot of things that, like, even though you're seeing it, you're not getting a full understanding of what you're about to receive. So that's why I think that it is a bit flawed still, and that we still need a much better understanding of what these roadmaps are trying to achieve. Like, what is it trying to achieve when we have Dastardly Duos, Horrific Visions, and say like a time walking event running at the same time, or Greedy Emissary and a Collector's Bounty running at the same time? Like, what are they trying to achieve? What do they want us to achieve? So I feel like that's what needs to be added to the roadmap, is they need to have a little bit more clear definition of what they want the players to be enjoying and experiencing. And that way players kind of have a good idea coming into it of what to expect, because I feel like expectations are still being missed.
Also the one behind the excellent trading post previews and a whole bunch of infographics. And that's just one member of the WoW social team. The Warcraft accounts are actually full of like meme parody shorts that keep on going viral. They could hit upwards of 500k views in YouTube, and in one case, over 2 million in TikTok. That's a hell of a lot of eyeballs on World of Warcraft, and some of those eyeballs will translate.
Like they'll legit like follow trends, and they have a pulse on like what's like currently viral, and they do a good job of like following those trends. And they honestly, they slap. They do a great job of it. So it's weird for them to be so, is the word tone deaf? It's weird for them to be so tone deaf with something like this, something so foolish like this.
To sales, or maybe we'll translate to more retention. Just keeping the flame of Warcraft alive in someone, even if their last touch point with the franchise was years ago. And every few days, there would be a meme, something to share, some well-presented short on what's coming in a patch. To put it simply, it felt like WoW, in terms of its social media presence and its ability to engage, was actually thriving again. But unfortunately for us, Microsoft stepped in, and now they've killed that. On the 2nd of
the way it felt for those who maybe have like a OG classic experience with it, is it felt like the customer service side died so that social media WoW could exist. Like, we got rid of customer service and having a lot of hands-on experience with that, and it was swapped out instead for having a social media experience. And I think some people were okay with that.
July 2025, Microsoft laid off 9,100 employees. Now, we don't have the exact figures of what hit the gaming division, but we do know that up to half of them were from Xbox. Now, remember, Xbox does include the WoW development team because that's Microsoft's gaming wing. As an example, the Elder Scrolls Online studio had their whole new MMO project be cancelled. So harshly, in fact, that they called the layoffs inhumane. That was even though apparently Xbox executives had played their new MMO and basically thought it was brilliant. And we know that at least some of these cuts were also from Blizzard Entertainment, because Ratzel announced that they were laid off. And in their tweet, they revealed that they had been doing it for the last 3 years, right? Doing their job. That's exactly the span of when WoW's public reputation started to upswing. I mean, yes, we can talk about individual game design things, but just their ability to engage in social media, that was there. Another person is Stats, who is a writer for the social team. They didn't get a contract renewal. Another 3-year veteran laid off was Eric. And in a series of now deleted tweets, Eric said the layoffs are, quote, cleaning up. what's left of the team after it was being dismantled beforehand, likely, of course, in the earlier layoff waves that have happened this year. No, instead, Microsoft will be saving money. They'll be doing that by outsourcing all of that social team's work to an agency. Now, that social team was responsible for basically spreading the good news of parts of WoW reviving. And by every metric that we can see, they were successful. Look at the shorts, look at the Twitter engagement. It was there, it was much better, but now they are gone, replaced by outsiders to cut costs.
This might be a thing of like, I'm looking at this in too small of a sense. I would love to hear from like people who have more experience in this and like a marketing team to help frame this like in mind for me. But I feel like the reason why, and this is from a content creator perspective, I feel like it is that just because you get hits, just because you go viral doesn't necessarily translate into like a net viewership or net gains in the space. I think a lot of areas where sponsors are still kind of falling behind in the space is they don't necessarily understand that just because you like do like a sponsor campaign or you recruit people and like some sort of big like ad or something like that doesn't necessarily translate into permanent players, doesn't translate into permanent viewership just because you get 1,000 people to click a link or something like that. So a lot of times, just because you make a bunch of viral videos, you put a lot of effort into it, they're edited well, and like they're fantastic machinimas and stuff like that, doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get net players because of that funny video. A lot of times with TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you can get hundreds, thousands, millions of views, and it doesn't necessarily translate into anything outside of that one space. People will just scroll on and move on to the next thing. I think people much rather find like a whole new video, a whole new creator within 10 scrolls that also does WoW versus subscribe to your page or now purchase a subscription to your game because of it. So it's like it's not a one-to-one translation. It doesn't always equal stuff, and a lot of people are realizing this now, and I think sponsors and companies are starting to realize this as well, where it's like yeah, this got 1 million views, but do we really need a bunch of y'all to do this? And so they go, okay, like let's do this with 10 people and have them like post and create viral videos that are edited, made, and created by AI. Like it just like it feels very much like one, that there's possible bloating, and two, that people are realizing like, hey, this isn't translating into what it's supposed to translate into.
And within just 1 week, the impact of this was absolutely clear.
Sorry, the same thing could be said about customer service. Like why customer service isn't as valued anymore is because it's much easier to get a new player in the game than it is to try to like retain a player who's already playing the game.
Look, if we didn't notice, we probably wouldn't have made this video, but we did notice because it was blindingly goddamn obvious. Matt and our team sponsored one of these new posts after the layoffs, and he was kind of appalled. And look, here in Northern Ireland, we totally talk like sailors, so I can't actually relay his specific words or else YouTube would get angry, but here's the post that he was reacting to. It is just weird. Quote, experiment with best environments for animals. Is that a banner in Temu? What's going on? Bad English and an even uglier image. This is terrible advertising for the game. The new shorts that exist explaining the features are stiff, they are boring, they don't even use the right goddamn font. Scrolling down the Facebook page, you can also tell which posts are from the new agency because they are dry and they are lifeless. This is the sort of thing that you may think is minor, but look, the discipline of copywriting is one of those things where it's actually the tiny little changes that add up humongously. Copywriting is important, and
it's all parts to a whole, right? I think that can a game be successful without a rigid and well-formulated customer service team? Sure. Yeah, I mean, you could have like the basic bare bones, respond in passes, and not really have like one-on-one interaction on those like case-by-case basis situations. Can you have a good game without having a active and I would say popular social media team? Of course, but you know, you combine enough of those factors together, and eventually you're going to have a lot of honestly, the game's going to suffer overall because people are going to basically the assumption that is made, and this is a reasonable assumption, is that the parts define the whole. So if like if 80% of it is bad, but the gameplay is good, sure, the gameplay is good, and that might be enough for some people. But for a lot of people, they'll go, this is indicative of the rest. I don't want to invest in something that it doesn't invest in all parts that make a good game good. Because nowadays, I mean, like this is the factor of life. You can't have games without a number of parts that maybe don't seem essential, but do play a crucial part in the overall scheme. So I think it's short-sighted of Blizzard to do something like this, or I guess for Microsoft to do something like this to Blizzard. It's hard to tell who the blame lies on, really.
Whoever's involved in this stuff is not a skilled copywriter. And look, you don't even need to be a skilled copywriter if you actually know and love the community that you're talking to. Basically, these people don't know that community. And while that example is just a minor one, it actually misrepresents the new content that it's trying to show off. Now, the worst that I've seen so far is one you've already been showed. This one, the Timeless Isle calls. No, it doesn't call. That's in patch 5.4, which you won't be able to play for ages. Pandaria calls. So whoever wrote that obviously doesn't know World of Warcraft. They've just read some brief, probably an AI summary of a brief, because, I mean, look, honestly, ChatGPT or Claude would probably...
Like, I would like, so it seems like what was written was what were the best hitting features of Mist and Pandaria. And they didn't like bother to look at when they just went. Or I mean, let's not ignore the possibility of it could have just been someone going, yeah, we just mean, you know, Timeless Isle eventually, you know, like we just mean somewhere down the line, you know?
Write better content than this and at least know how to capitalize a feature. This is unbelievably bad. So to me, this is just sloppy, and it's a very stark contrast to say this pretty damn incredible looking launch trailer that is the sort of thing that would make people want to go and buy a game. So to me, whenever I look at these posts, it feels like something familiar. The complete garbage ads that you see for janky mobile cash grab games. Not
oh my god!
Premium legendary MMO.
I played AFK Journey for a little while, and they had the worst ones. Like they would give like there's a character who's like a merchant, and they had like a little duck, and in the ads, like the mobile ads that they put on YouTube, he would like have like an AK-47, and he would run around like just mowing down characters. I'm like, what is happening right now? There's some pretty bad ones out there.
That World of Warcraft is supposed to be. And if you think I'm exaggerating, check out this next post, because it's the exact opposite. Quote, a voice that echoed like thunder across worlds, a spirit too wild for just one realm, Azeroth salutes you. You know that someone with heart wrote that, right? It's about Ozzy. There's feeling there. Calling him the original Prince of Darkness is of course a reference to the old World of Warcraft ad that he made with Blizzard back during the day. And that was another time, an era where WoW actually had effective marketing, at least in its home market. Ozzy, Mr. T, South Park episode. Basically, for lack of a better way to put it, they had the right vibes. WoW was thriving and had a great rep, and all that publicity sealed the deal. Now though, that type of heart, that type of connection with the audience, that's just not really possible under Microsoft's tenure. Look at the sorts of cuts that they make. And the reason why is their institutional pressures and their institutional DNA. Because at the end of the day, this is an entertainment product that is being ran by an enterprise software company. In this world, there are hard things and there are soft things. No, I'm not talking about I'm talking about numbers versus vibes, right? The quantitative and the qualitative. They are different, and the vibes are the sort of thing that Blizzard got right for years, then messed up, and just started kind of recently, the last few years, to get right again. Now, these layoffs come from Microsoft, a very different culture, one that only really cares about the hard things, the rational, the quantifiable. How can they cut costs to get the next quarter to look better? Where can they replace one team with another team that is cheaper? To someone who
In an odd way, I feel like Twitter caused this. I feel like ever since like Twitter had these massive layoffs where they're like, hey, there was too much waste and a lot of like just extra bulk in certain departments that didn't necessarily need it. I feel like there's an obsession now with like removing it, and it's like it's sometimes it works out, but I feel like a lot of times it's not necessarily for the better.
Works in money and hard numbers, a social media post is just a social media post. You might have a quota per week. But as I just showed you, it's very obviously not that to us on the ground. And it's that all the same mentality. A social post is a social post is a social post. Quality doesn't matter. That sort of mentality is how we get to something like this. Take a look at this. This is the extremely obvious use of generative AI in an internal crossover. And look, we can't say who's to blame here exactly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what do I feel about this?
It could just be a contract.
If you have the money to hire artists, you like an artist team, you shouldn't be doing this. But anybody else said I'd be fine with it, even with like an indie game or something like that, I'd be fine with it. I'm fine with it in most cases, but like with multi-million-dollar companies, like please, come on.
Artists being cheeky or the NetEase Immortal team passing something over to Blizzard. But either way, it should never have happened, because this is what we're left with. Not even Taronda warrants enough respect to be hand-drawn, so we get this weird bimboified straight out of an image gen thing.
Yeah.
So Blizzard,
AKA any thumbnail I make, the biggest complaints, why the most people downvote my stuff. They're like, oh my god, a boob. it's people get upset. Like it's so tilted.
that doesn't care enough to make real or even convincing art. Now, obviously, the employees at Blizzard do, even the leaders. I do not believe for a second that Holly or Ian would sign off on something like this for World of Warcraft, or would let their...
Let's stop. Let's stop. We need to stop. It's so, in a weird way, it's like such a glaze to be like, all this awful things, and it's all Blizzard, you know, or it's all Microsoft doing this stuff. There's no way Blizzard would do this. And then before it's the Activision side. No way Blizzard would do this. Let's stop. Let's just be honest. Let's just be truthful. A spade is a spade is a spade. Like there's no way. There's no way that Blizzard would do this. Like, there's no way they would allow this to happen. And it obviously did. I just think it's silly.
social team go without a fight. I actually hope that me making a video like this and making public awareness will arm people within Blizzard with a bit of a stick, being able to say, well, look at that very riled up community who disagrees with the...
I do think there has been a great deal of backlash, and I am glad that a lot of people are calling Blizzard out on this. Do I think it's be enough to like change like the massive, like change the structure, say like hire back some of those employees? No, probably not. But I think simultaneously, I think we do have to call people out on stuff like this where it's like, hey, this isn't working. Or like you should have gone about this differently. I can't stand it when like certain companies try to sneak stuff under the radar and act like everything's okay. And act like it doesn't matter when like massive layoffs happen. And I'm personally in the camp of belief that even though I use AI for certain things, like say like my thumbnails, I do believe when scaled, I do think it can affect things drastically for the negative, whether that's gaming, marketing, or an organization, or leadership structure. I think AI can negatively affect almost anything when scaled to a large extent.
Obviously bad thing that you lot did. That's useful. This video is meant to give them ammunition. So yeah, Ian, Holly, reload your Glock with mind bullets from this video. Anyway, take a look at this.
With mind bullets.
Appeared in one of their shorts, right?
That's telekinesis,
So
Kyle.
those people were integrated, right? Ian and Holly know that the social team matters. That's why part of this stuff's got better, because the people leading the company clearly know what's important. or should I say leading the team, because the company is kind of a different thing. And Microsoft are a company so large that they do not cut costs.
I don't care about the generated images. I just hate AI being used as a crutch by everyone. Yeah, it's like sometimes I think AI can be used as a supplement. Like I use my stuff. I use AI to like have a focus image within a thumbnail, but that I customize and put together and like make appealing. So it's like, it's just to have something in place of that, because sometimes there isn't a image for what I'm specifically trying to like have an image for. That's what I use it for. I mean, if not, I would just source a different image or find a way to do like some sort of like posing and create that kind of thing. So at a certain point, I would definitely not have it anymore. But until then, I mean, it is kind of that thing. But like for people who can afford it and have like teams, and I get the pain with it. I've worked with Fiverr enough times to know that it sucks to work with artists sometimes. Artists can be finicky, they take forever, they don't provide a product that is like good sometimes and can take forever. And so I understand the heartaches that come with that.
With a scalpel. No, they use a scythe, they close their eyes and take humongous swings. I mean, if you've got over 200,000 employees and you want to chop off a few percentage, what else are you going to do? The market needs good news this quarter, goddammit. And look, at least we don't have AI being used to promote WoW. Not yet. But I'm not being over dramatic. Dakor on our team couldn't believe that the Timeless Isle mistake was real, so he asked if it was AI. Like, he basically said, "Hello, World of Warcraft. Are you a chatbot, Mr. X account?" And they said, no, they have no intention of using AI at this time. Now, there's a whole talk about Gen AI in the future and all of that stuff that we don't even need to have in this instance, actually. Because even if we only think about output quality, well, that's okay. We can see the output is slop. It's shit. It's bad work. This cost-cutting leads to sloppy work, and that leads to death by 1,000 cuts. AI promo art tells you that the event is a cash grab, right? It's all about signaling value. If this event actually mattered, well, maybe they would have bothered to actually put some effort.
I mean, if we're thinking about like the bare bones argument of what we're talking about, I think it's a quantity over quality argument. It's if you put out 10 posts, it can have the same value. Like 10 posts that are like free AI slop. It's the same as having one well thought out post that's like well edited, well created, etc. But how much time is being spent on it? It can be are you going to reach enough people? Because a post only reaches so many people before it no longer is in the algorithm where it's like it's going to be getting the most boosted views, and it's eventually going to fall off. So even if that post is fantastic, eventually nobody will see it naturally, organically. They'll have to search it or be actively like looking at it to where it gets pushed to their feed. It's just unlikely. So it's like some cases I can understand it, but it feels like we're picking the quantity option way too often.
Instead of just go generate a thing, right? If you see poorly written social posts, guess what? That'll tell you that the reputation of this game is a bit of an afterthought, because whoever's doing this is just doing social media posts for a quota. Now, I'm not saying that this is the end of the world, but I am saying this has got the potential to do serious damage. There's a reason why. Because World of Warcraft is about to get its best chance ever, and right as it has that chance, they fired the people who could capitalize on it.
Yeesh.
Opening Night Live is the big thing for Gamescom, and it averaged out to 1.1 million live viewers last year. The VOD had over 40 million viewers. That's a lot of people. Now this year, Xbox actually forked out to have the Midnight Cinematic be shown to all of those people, right? Now, Midnight is the first expansion built exclusively, completely as a part of the World Soul saga. The War Within was basically them taking an already half-done expansion and kind of ramming it into the story that they would end up telling, which is why War Within is a little bit funny. Anyway, what it's also is the first pure Metzen cinematic kind of since his return, his full return, that is. And we already kind of know what's going to happen. We see Silvermoon being invaded by the Void. And you know, the last big cinematic that Chris Metzen was heavily involved in before he left? Well, it was the Battle for Azeroth one. Now, that expansion didn't turn out great narratively, but goddamn, that cinematic captured what we all wanted from Battle for Azeroth. The problem with BFA is BFA just wasn't particularly interested in telling its own story. So it told other random stories, but that's not really the point. The point is we have an opportunity that could be that big. A cinematic.
To be honest, though, as much as The War Within isn't BFA, and I want to give Blizzard the credit that The War Within, I'm surprised I've played as long as I have, but I think that somehow, even with a story that I haven't really been interested in all that much, it's at least kept me at least enough interested to be like, oh, I wonder what's going on. So like at least they've done that, but the same regard, The War Within did the exact same thing. It's very much like they started out The War Within with clearly a plan in mind, and they've clearly changed that. And so going into midnight, it feels like nothing's happened. It feels like we've gone almost nowhere, except for a few people have changed their positions or personalities or identity or I don't know. It doesn't feel like necessarily anything's really moved the needle. So
that has one of the largest reaches they will pretty much have had in years and years and years and years. This would be the perfect time for WoW's social media team to plant a flag to capitalize on all of this. And for all that to be capitalized on by a team who are genuinely deeply excited, who come from the community and know the community, who can make clever posts, who can do jokes that are actually funny, do clips that can go viral because they're funny instead of being forced cringe all the time. But now that will not happen because those people are gone. When people go to look at World of Warcraft socials and official links, they'll see incredible cinematics and feel powerful vibes. And then that will immediately be undercut by cheap, shitty work everywhere else. This, even looking at their Facebook and so many of their comms, it's just weird, janky sentence, sort of related emoji. This is absolutely embarrassing. This is a complete shame. Like, you should be ashamed, people responsible for this. And I say people responsible for this because the poor bastards at the other end of some outsourced company being forced to do this stuff, it's not their fault. No, it's the people who are making the cuts. It's their fault. The people who don't understand that this is an entertainment product, that this is something that people engage with on.
Once again, I'm going to say, as much as I may have people disagree with me, I think that if you had massive cuts and they're like, hey, we want marketing team or our social media team, we want 12 posts out, pump them out. We want to get these out. I think you do like doing more with less isn't always optimal, but there's still a way to do things that stay true to it. While also achieving your goals. Your goals are to, make enough posts and get enough content out there for your player base to be interested in. There's a way to do it, and just do more with less. And you can't tell me that the people aren't capable. I'm sure they're much more capable than me to make a post, and I can do a post for free in less than an hour. So like, you get somebody on it. I don't like the idea that one, it's impossible, or two, that it's like outside their hands. So like nothing they can do.
On an emotional basis. It's not enterprise software. And even worse, imagine being the World of Warcraft development team, actually trying. And maybe you're excited. Maybe you have ground out through what I know has been a goddamn tumultuous time internally for that team. They've shipped out so many patches. I know people are kind of struggling, feeling burnt out and stuff like that over there. So for so many of those people, what's Midnight going to be? Well, their first chance to actually have an expansion sort of made to plan, without bullshit of being in a massive transitionary sort of era, right? Because it's not like they're, you know, halfway through War Within development and suddenly medicines came in. The story's different now. This should be their big moment. And what are they going to see their work represented by? Utter slop like this. Those people deserve better. The community deserves better. This is an embarrassment and a travesty, and it absolutely needs to end. Cutting leads.
Unfortunately, I don't think anything will happen. I don't think there's anything really convincing people, or there's nothing really that people are like, oh yeah, this is gonna tell me like how I like now we're gonna change, guys. Like now things will be different. I don't think that'll happen. Maybe it's just me being negative. I don't think there's enough going on there to really make a super strong change. As much as we may not like it, but that being said, of course, you know, let me know, what do you think is the biggest thing to suffer from losing something like this? What do you think, if we were to take and reinvest these employees into somewhere else, where do you feel like they need to be invested into? Or do you not care? You know, I mean, let me know in the comments. Of course, if you like this video, give it a like. Of course, subscribe to the page while you're at it. We're nearly 2,000 subscribers, and we are on the road to do some awesome content. If you enjoyed this type of reaction content, we do it live on stream. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on top of that, we do reactions to videos that you guys recommend, either in the Discord or in stream. So if you have stuff that you'd like me to react to, talk about on stream, then please do recommend them and join us while we're live. We stream on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. All right. But until next time, guys, catch you in the next one. Peace. My thing was throwing me because the video that it was showing on this wasn't what I was looking at on the screen. So I was worried like it like froze. So maybe it froze at some point, but I don't know. I don't have any idea. We didn't get the piece I wanted, the boots I wanted, but we'll get them next time. I gotta go, guys. I've had a long day and I don't feel like editing today, but at least we have a couple of videos that hopefully we can post soon. But until next time, guys, appreciate you. Catch you in the next stream. We will be streaming live on the Air Force Gaming channel Friday. Hopefully, if everything goes through well. They haven't really been responding to my messages, so hopefully that goes through. Hopefully we'll be streaming there, so I'll catch you guys live. I'll be posting in the Discord whenever that happens. But hope to see you guys there. We'll be doing more level lock 30 characters and answering any questions that people have about level locking and gear and what to focus on, because we want to get a bunch of people involved in a Air Force gaming community in World of Warcraft. So that being said, guys, have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys Friday. And of course, if you need me, I'll be in the Discord. Peace.